everyone. Sorry for the delay. For some reason, like my phone wasn't allowing me to go live. I couldn't really understand what was the issue. But we're on. All right. Y'all can see me, right? All right. Hey, everyone. Hello, good evening, everyone. Sorry again for the delay. For some reason, my app was not showing me the live option. But I think Seyi is, I was just talking to him, so I think he's gonna come through now. Alrighty. Just give me a second. Let me get my notebook with all my notes. Can you guys hear me? Let me make sure I'm talking loud enough. Alright. Okay. Okay. Cool. Great. Thanks much. Alrighty. I think Seyi is there somewhere. Alright, Seyi's here. Hold on, let me just get my notebook, guys. I don't want you guys to see my bedroom. BRB. Alright. Let me get Seyi so we can get this party started. I think Seyi's joining us now. But a reminder, this conversation is about the role of influencers in nation building. I know. This conversation today with Enough is Enough is about the role of influencers with nation building. I think it's actually a very pertinent conversation. This is something I actually talk about often. Yeah, so I'm just going to wait until Seyi comes on before I really go into the nitty gritty.
Yo.
Hey.
Yo, what's going on?
What's up?
Just chilling. Just chilling.
Great.
What
So
do you do?
let's go right into it. I know I'm late. My Wi-Fi and my phone was having some crazy issues. But
Pay fine.
today,
Pay fine. Pay fine.
anyway.
Anto, that is well. Okay, we'll talk that one after.
We can talk after.
After. Yeah.
So this is just my my regular look. I ain't even doing it right. But anyway.
You ain't doing what right. You killing it. You know this.
Thank you. As an influencer that I am, I gotta try and look good.
You know what I'm saying?
But today, our conversation is about the role of influencers in nation building. I think this is a great topic. I think the people who know yourself and myself, they would know that I guess they would call us influencers, But we also have a passion for, making sure Nigeria becomes the Nigeria it needs to be, that it deserves to be, and the Nigeria we want it to be. So I think it's very key that we have this discussion because, every day, especially us from the platform that we came from, we get messages of, we get messages of people saying that, you guys are not doing enough. These are celebrities, these influencers, they don't do anything. They just wear fine clothes. They just go to events. They just drink alcohol. They just do, all of this stuff. They're expecting we're supposed to change the world as if we're the ones that people queued and voted for to be president and governor and what have you. So I think it's key or important that, we talk about what exactly is an influencer and then what exactly is nation building and then how the two mix or should the two even mix. So I think, what would you say is your own definition of an influencer?
My own definition of an influencer is a person that makes the general public realize a want that they need. Should I put it that way? Or make them realize a thing that is of importance that could help their life get better. I could be able to influence for a brand that will make their life easier. The thing about it is that a number of influencers don't always influence according to who they are, or they just influence as regards everything because we need to make money. But at the same time, we need to have focus. We need to be focused. But how do I put it? I'm not putting these words right, but for an influencer, right, you're meant to be able to speak about brands in the positive kind of way, to make people see the positive side and to understand the advantages they can benefit from that brand or
Sure.
movement. No, that's the thing. It's not just brands. It could be for a movement. It's lending your voice to a cause. It's driving, the energy in the right direction to further help the people have a better life. That's what
Sure.
we're here for. We are meant to be like tools in the hands of governments, brands, NGOs to spread the word, the good word, to give people hope as regards things. Because as much as we're influencers, we're also meant to project ourselves as who we really are, normal human beings. Yes, we are
Absolutely.
blessed enough to be in this position, but does not mean we need to forget, where we were coming from and where we're going to.
Sure.
So
Sure.
that's what I think an influencer is supposed to
So
do.
for the people who don't know who Seyi is,
Don't do that. Don't do that.
some people are
Don't
saying
do
they don't
that.
know who he is. So let me tell them who you are now. So Mr. Seyi Awolowo, he is professionally, I guess we will say that he's an actor, he's a model, he's also an entrepreneur. I think people forget that aspect. He's definitely an entrepreneur. He's definitely an entrepreneur. He also came to, I guess we'll say, came to the limelight from being on Big Brother season 4. So that's kind of what, propelled him into more of the limelight. But he was obviously working and doing things before then. So now,
Yeah.
because of Big Brother and his existing modeling and acting career previously, he now might be considered an influencer. So for me, when I think of influencer, there's kind of two ways to kind of define it.
Okay.
Now, based on the monetary aspect of influencer, influencer would be a walking advertisement.
Yes.
There's two different types of influencers these days, which I think is very important. There's lots of people who are natural influencers. They tell people, "Oh, I just went to Zobar Lounge. The food was great. You should go there." That person is an influencer because they may have influenced you to want to go to Zobar
Go
Lounge, and
there.
that's just a casual, normal, friendly influencer. That's kind of how this whole thing started with bloggers and YouTubers just talking about what they loved, their regular daily what they love. But then brands caught on and said, wow, when that person talks about my product, the next person buys it. So now let's turn this into a money-making business. So now we have lots of influencers who really might not use or really care about those products, but based on
Yeah.
the influence they have, they're now working for brands. So I think that's very key when we talk about influences for nation building. Because when I think of nation building, it is people who are supposed to encourage and remind people the importance of being patriotic and the importance of working through and fighting for the country that we deserve. But I think there are some influencers who don't have no business talking about that kind of stuff, because they themselves are not truly educated on certain topics. So that's when we
True
get
that.
into fights of influenzas and celebrities, because the person wasn't highly educated and they just started
As
talking
regards.
because people expected them to talk. Because they have 6 million followers, you got to talk to the people, talk to the youth, tell them what to do. But just because you have 6 million followers doesn't really mean you know what's happening in Southern Kaduna, you know?
True
But then you
that.
may talk
Yeah.
about it and you say the wrong thing because people pressured you into talking, but you didn't really know what you were talking about. So then you messed up.
True.
So I think
Yeah.
that's kind of I think that's important. Do you think that influencers or people of public figures or people that are popular or what have you, do they think they have a responsibility to be nation builders? Do they have to watch CNN? Do they have to watch channels? Are they supposed to gather information? Or is there a certain kind of influencer who is strictly a political influencer? Is there a difference? Should everyone just be about peace and unity, or should there be a specific kind of influencer who talks about what's going on in the world?
Okay. If you ask me, I'll say everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Everybody's entitled to, freedom of speech. Say what you need to say, especially if it affects your livelihood. Now, yes, before you speak about a topic, do your homework. And you can only speak about a topic that directly affects you with passion. If it doesn't really affect you and you're getting paid to speak about it, do me a favor, do your homework about it so that you can speak properly about it. Not that you just come out and drop facts that are not right. Now, the problem about we influencers getting proper information is that, in all honesty, the media has a certain level of corrupt messages within. Not like it is corrupted, if you would ask me, because people weaponize the media to suit them. So, actually doing the homework to find out about, because that's why I really don't speak about much, because I'm not even sure which is or which isn't the correct kind of news. Because there are a lot of things that pop up and I hear about them like, what is really going on? Do I speak about it? And with this hate speech thing and them inviting people over for, you really got to be careful because, man, I got to eat. I've been given the privilege of having a voice to a certain number, to a certain demographic. I don't think I want to abuse it, but I still want to use it for the right cause.
Sure.
So in order for me to do that, I need to find out what I'm talking about. Okay, I hear about this Southern Kaduna thing. I hear about bandits running the muck here. I hear about oil prices. I hear about the energy prices going up. Do I know what's really going on? I hear about 5% of creatives in Lagos. And I'm like, okay, so what is really happening? Is that the real gist? Is that all of it? Do I know all that's really going on? Sure. I was in an interview for Kick TV recently and they asked me about the 5%. And I clearly just stated my own opinion. I don't think it makes sense because I do not know what they're going to use my money for. If I give 5%, what does that guarantee me in the future? They rip us off on a daily. Like, the business structure doesn't exactly, even we influencers get ripped off. Whether we want to agree to it or not, we get ripped off. We get taken advantage of. Not to not mention being a model or an actor or all of that. So in the direction of nation building, I personally want to lend my voice to the industry of actors, models, the behind the scenes stuff, not exactly the behind the scenes stuff, but the people that it affects the most because I was a model. And at the time, I had multinationals wanting me to model for their brand or represent their brand, so to speak, or market their brand. Let me put it that way. And they were not even willing to pay as much as $1,000 for a year. I mean, how much is that? That is meant to be a basic salary. But now they were even trying to tell me that we'll give you 70,000 naira, we'll give you 80,000 naira for a whole year. I'm supposed to be the face of your brand, market your brand indirectly, but you can't even afford to pay me as a marketer. Now I know about it that much because I have been in that situation. So when I want to speak about it or when I want to prefer a solution is because I'm from that background and I can prefer that solution. This is not somebody trying to pay me to speak about it. And now, contribution to that is it's helping a demographic. It's helping my nation build. That's a little nation on its own that if it's well treated, it could be a multi-billion naira or dollar in industry. So that's for me, that's supposed to be my influencing on that. As much as I can, speak when I can, not speak if I don't have enough information. So influencers need to be careful. You are entitled to your opinion. But be careful with the way you put out your opinion because you have a ton of people following you, a ton of people listening to you. And the minute you churn out the wrong information, the wrong kind of content in that direction, you've triggered a ripple effect that you might not be able to correct or fix, or even just with your own apology. So, an influencer, you want to speak about something, do your homework, literally, and be sure about what you want to do. Understand it properly. Be passionate. You have to have the passion for it to be able to influence about it. It's just like how I take the jobs I take. If I can't exactly blend with the brand, it's going to be hard for me to create the content for the brand because it has to be a normal type of thing. 100%. So that's how I think it should be for nation building as regards influencing. It literally has to affect you. If you get paid for it, it's not exactly affecting you. It's affecting your bank account. If an organization comes to me, we need you to talk about, and quite frankly, maybe it does not favor some people, but because it's giving you the right bread, you speak about, hey man, I got a couple extra zeros on the last check. So we need to be careful about the kind of things we want to speak or influence about, and make sure it's things that we're invested in, because that's the best way you can push the message out.
Absolutely, I agree with you. I think people kind of forget. When I even saw this topic, I was really intrigued because today's line of influencer is no longer just the person, the blogger or the YouTuber. Most people influencers now are paid influencers. The point of today's influencing is to be paid, and many of us only do work if we are paid to do it. So I know for myself, as an influencer, when it comes to most of my philanthropic jobs or philanthropic work, I don't get paid for it. It is because I am passionate about it. But everyone cannot afford to be passionate about something, you know? Not everyone can afford, you know, I get paid in other ways. So that's the reason I'm able to also use my platform to talk about other things, because I can. If my money was tied up, I wouldn't be doing free work. Most of my philanthropy work is very free, you know? So I think that's also a reminder to tell some people that many influencers are working, they're working. So because they're not necessarily getting paid, I tell people all the time, so many NGOs, so many people come up to me because they know me to be someone who uses my platform for good, but they never come with money. And most times I still do it just from the depth of my heart. But most days I'm like, damn, I wish this person could have paid me. I can't lie, you know? So I think it's very important to know that a lot of people don't necessarily talk about important things because they're not getting paid for it. Not because they don't care about it, but because their line of work is to talk to get paid. For example, someone who is an engineer is going to engineer. They're going to get paid to engineer. They're not going to come online and talk about something else because they weren't necessarily paid for it. So I think that's very key. But someone here wrote something that was very interesting, and I actually disagree with their point. Someone said that you can talk about nation building without being political. So I actually I went onto Google to get the definition of what Google wants to tell us as nation building. And nation building basically said the unification of people to have a politically balanced state. I added socially because I think social also matters, but especially in a place like Nigeria where things are literally not working because of our politics, I think nation building, you have to talk about politics. For example, every day we open social media and almost everyone is talking about going to Canada. Everyone is ready to jackpot. Everyone's ready to travel. Everyone's ready to leave. They're looking for a way out. So, okay, say me that I actually left where they're trying to go to because I'm all about nation building. But most people don't want to hear what I have to say because they know I can always go back to Yankee at any moment. So no one is really interested in what the heck I'm talking about. Me, I'm a little drop in the big ocean. They're like, all right, you go back to the US at any time. What are you talking about? So my question is, this nation building that they want us, because many people are interested in doing it, even besides the aspect of getting paid for it. People want to talk. Most people are stuck in Nigeria, so they want it to be a great Nigeria. What is the nation building they're expecting of us? Because I actually think influencers do a great job in nation building, and I'm going to point out why I think that. If we're talking about beauty or skincare or hair care influencers, almost everyone talks about made in Nigeria brands. Even our fashion influencers, almost everyone talks. There's only a few people who talk about international luxurious brands. Most people will always mention made in Nigeria brands, and I think that is nation building because someone could easily say, go and buy Clarins. That's a Paris, they make it in Paris. But no, most people talk about, go and buy something from Iya Buki. She sells soap, So I think we do nation building when we talk about our entertainment industry. What are we even saying? It is our entertainment industry that's literally building this nation. We had at least like 10 albums drop in the past 2 weeks. Great Nigerian music. Beautiful Nigerian music has come out in the past week. And that is nation building. When we talk about Nollywood, me and you are in that industry. We know how hard we are working on sets with small cover to be acting and putting our deep effort into. So people can go to the cinema. So people can watch it on Netflix. We are nation building. So I'm wondering, what is the pressure? What more do they want us to do? Because the issue is, when we have the few influencers or the young people or the celebrities who end up running for these political positions or open NGAs, people don't send them. People don't mind them. People are not paying them any mind. So I would love to know, what is it that we're supposed to be doing as influencers, or what is their definition of nation building? Because I think most of us are doing a great job with the small amount that we have. You know, I always wonder, am I missing out on something? So I would love to see you guys' comments. Is there something that you want influencers to do more of? Is there something not doing enough? Like for me, I actually work with Gatefield TV. Gatefield is a it's kind of similar to EIE. They are basically funded to talk about socially important topics.
Okay.
And every few weeks, I produce a video that talks about important topics. So I've talked about rape, I've talked about mental health, I've talked about things that we don't talk about in Nigeria. And I know how many views those videos get. We even send them to other blogs for the blogs to repost and what have you. And I know how many views those things get. But then when I'm posting Baby Girl, you know what I mean? When I'm posting Baby Girl, those get way more views than when I'm talking about important topics. So I would love to know how do they want us to talk about these? Because me and you are people who are definitely nation builders. We want Nigeria to be great because we're here. Obviously, we have so many other places we could be. So obviously, we are here. I would love to know what are these things they would want influencers to do? Because I actually saw a post on Twitter a few days ago, and somebody was like, "Oh, who are the celebrities who talk about who are socially conscious without having to get paid for it?" Because I realized I think people want influencers to talk about things without getting paid for it. So someone wrote Kate Henshaw, they wrote Banky W, and they wrote the guy that does Lamborghini, because he does the police reform. So then I was like, you know, it was shocking that I only saw, because I only saw those three names come up, because I actually know a lot of celebrities who talk a lot of good, but because they also, as they're talking about good, they're also promoting their movie or promoting their product or promoting their, you know, their music, that people kind of don't see that. So I always wonder, like, I feel like there's an undue amount of pressure, and that's what causes people to talk nonsense, because everyone wants influencers to be the holy grail. They're supposed to have every piece of information. They're supposed to know everything that's going on, and when they talk and they say nonsense, then the next thing, you know, you say rubbish. So now the person no longer wants to engage in that topic because the one time they messed up, everyone attacked them. So I think there has to be I think the expectation on influencers needs to be a little bit more realistic. I don't think it's an influencer's job to be an educator. I don't think so. You know, I think people need to kind of know what's up before we. So someone wrote here that we need to sensitize young people to be conscious of our country, especially on social media. So I think people are conscious, because I find more Nigerians every day. Once something bad happens in the country, more and more people come to social media to complain about it. Like today, someone came out. I think what's the girl name? Someone came out talking about how Cowrie Rise, her money is somehow missing in the interworld. And so many people came back and they talked about other things in this country. So I think people actually use social media very well. So I'm wondering, what is it that people want influencers to do? Because that's what we're here for. We already know that influencers have a platform. They have a voice. They can or cannot choose to talk about why we should be patriotic. So I think more important is, what are the steps that they're expecting? Because I think most musicians sing their songs in their native language. So I think that is nation building, because everyone wants to be on iTunes, you know, everyone wants to be on SoundCloud. To get more views or get more listens, you will speak English. You know?
Anto, should I be brutally honest?
Yes, I think you should be.
You should be brutally honest.
Yes.
Quite frankly, we are literally not doing what we are supposed to be doing because we would like to get paid. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say, as in, we ain't doing a quarter of it. The sad part where people say, you know, I have to pay my bills. First thing first, right? But at the same time, I still have an opinion. For some people who pay. Now the thing is, it just depends on that influencer or who that person really is. What is your brand? What are you projecting to everybody?
I agree.
First things first. I think that's the direction you have to have set before you can be able to influence as regards serious topics. Now, nation building, yes, you are right. The hair care, music, the movies, it is nation building because we are making our nation look or feel and being great. Yes, I agree. But what's happening within the nation itself? Like I said, it has to be something that affects you in order for you to be able to influence about it. A lot of things are happening that we are not influencing. There are things that are happening, there are various happenings here and there, but we are not actually influenced for it. Quite.
Sure.
Okay. How do I put this? For example, okay, more or less, those other parts you're saying are more or less like the private sector. Now we're talking is people want us. Nation building is for people. The people that are, how do I put it, that are not receptive and looking for how we can influence. We can make movements that will affect government policies that will affect everybody in general. That is the direction that most of these people are looking at from time to time. And I think it's a direction that we too need to consider because policies that are being made by government officials affect us as well. E.g., 5%. It literally does affect us. So now when they do other things, like now, how are we now influencing, how are we now using our voice to find out what that our 5% will be used for? How will it favor us in the long run? I mean, since when I was born, our parents are being taxed. Anything you do literally has a little bit of tax on it. There's VAT, there's this tax, there's that tax, there's this and that. Speak about it. Okay, so please, why do you want to tax us? Let's create a movement, an awareness, a number that will be able to ask the government a question. How we're not meant to be using our influence to get people to sign petitions and then take to, because they'll ask you that, so how many people are behind your cause? So we're meant to be able to direct our energy like that. We're meant to be creative or should I say constructive in that direction because it will affect us in the long run. If they want to pass a bill, how do we, make people and Nigerians aware of this bill? Like, this thing they're about to pass is not going to favor us. So, but this thing, we will fold our hand and look. Now,
Yeah, I hear you.
yes, we can easily get more. I mean, they have more money than us and all of that, but we forget to realize that we have a following that cannot be rivaled, whether we like it or not.
Sure.
But and now it depends on how we now band it together, how we influence. There's not BU private, public. The policies in the country affect all of us.
Sure, absolutely.
That's why it's called nation building. The part you spoke about is, to be honest, is a quarter of the nation. Because there are a couple of villages that I don't think they all use makeup as much or they fix their hair. There are some places that they don't drink whiskey, they just drink their local palm wine. There are some places that don't even eat, processed meals. And everything they eat is organic. So how is our influence influencing them? But our influence can also help with policies that will help them take light to that community. Or that will make them open a private healthcare center in that region or community. That is where I think people are coming at us for, like, how are you guys making these people? So I understand it, but okay, so there's something you said. They'll see you doing baby girl, they are loving that post, but when you speak serious, now that is the part where I say the media has been corrupted. The media was used to mess with our heads. We, in this country, sad to say, we support the negatives more than the positives. We want to see a fight. We want to see an argument. We want to see a scandal. That's what we're looking forward to. Unlike when we're supposed to be looking forward to somebody speaking the truth, somebody saying what is. The media now comes and is now dropping other irrelevant things that takes our mind off the main thing, and that's bad. So you see, these are where the places or the sectors I think we need to render our voices to more often than normal.
Absolutely.
Because the more we speak about it with the amount of energy, we just might get it right.
I feel you. Because even a comment here says, yes, you guys need to discuss with your followers, the government decisions that they have on them. Someone that says that they think we're doing a great job. Thank you. But they'll really love if celebrities, especially especially influencers, to focus more on the grassroots. And that's exactly what you said, that, many of us kind of know what's happening right now, for the most part. We all have access to social media. We kind of know what's going on. But there are people who really have no idea what's going on, and they're probably more affected than us. Honestly,
Yes.
they may be comfortable in their life, but they don't know they probably can get so much more and so much better because
I'm telling you,
they're
yes.
used to what they have. Someone else wrote that our youth are just not conscious, to be honest, which is yes and no. I think when it comes to conscious, it's kind of is an interesting one, because I think people would be conscious if they believe that it would work for their benefits.
Yes.
I think that happens as well. Someone else said that Nigerian celebrities are not really working hand in hand. I don't know if I want to agree.
Very true. Very true. Very true.
Yes,
Let's
I
call
agree,
it spade a spade.
But do we have to? Like, is it our job to do that?
No, I don't think that's not the direction the person think. Okay, see, there's this thing that happens where I say no to something, expecting other people to say no to it, but somebody else will come and take it and do it.
I get you.
That's the premise that's coming from. Because if they bring money to you to influence for a wrong reason, and you say no, the next person just might take it because he needs the money. Whereas you're meant to be innocent and say no.
I agree there. We're gonna get to that topic another day, because we know for a fact there are a lot of influencers. I can put it out. I'm just gonna put it out there and run, because I actually tweeted about it today. There are a lot of influencers who are collecting money to influence dangerous, fraudulent products and systems. But
yep.
We're gonna talk about that later. If anyone has any question for us or any more insight, please feel free to add. Yes, people are agreeing with Seyi here. Yes, influence is definitely power. I think, we can't lie. Like we said, if you're speaking specifically to influencers, people are looking to get paid. And I know it's difficult for NGOs or government parastatals to bring out money, but the money needs to kind of be brought out if you want people to talk about some things. And more importantly, because the people who are probably willing to talk for free are not going to say good things. They're talking because they're angry and they're upset and they're complaining. So if there's someone who has something positive, you probably need to encourage financially for the person to talk, well about what exactly is going on.
I'm not going to lie, because if I'm supposed to start speaking about some things, I'll be afraid that they can come and arrest me that I'm speaking ill about the government. And I say, I ain't getting paid for that. Hey. Being honest. Being very honest. I mean, it's not like I have that much. My bank account that fat. I can take care of my family off what I got. I guess I can, but I'm sure I'll like a little bit more before I can. But I don't want to get, for example, now, there's this thing that people in the modeling/acting agents in the industry do. They say they're going to blacklist you because you are standing up for what is actually yours. Why are you tripping me with blacklisting when you are trying to rip me off? You are going to make millions in profits, but you're not even willing to give me a couple extra hundreds of thousands for the work I'm going to do. And while I'm doing it, you're going to want to treat me like I'm some piece of shit. Go and sit down there. This is the kind of food I'm supposed to eat. Come on. It's very annoying and it's very sad. So I totally can understand where some people are coming from. But at the same time, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything.
That is true. Someone here said that there's a lot more for every one of us to do, which is true. I think that because some of us have the word influencer in our bios, people kind of feel like we're the only ones who have a voice. There are a lot of people that you and I don't know, but they hold ground. They have people who listen to them religiously.
Serious people, though.
Very serious people. So I think the word influencer, especially these days, the word influencer is loosely used. Anyone who has, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's used. Anyone who has maybe over 10,000 followers on a platform is an influencer now. So you wouldn't expect the person who is saying retweet for Bobby, like for Yash, who may have 100,000 followers, to talk about Nigerians should fight against this levy. You know, you wouldn't expect that person to talk about this topic, but they are an influencer. They are an influencer to some people. Some people listen and die by what that person is saying. They're not the exact appropriate person to necessarily talk about certain topics. You know, so someone here wrote, which is interesting. Someone here wrote, "Does your words tally with your actions? We're just suffering. There's no sponsor anywhere." I don't think that's a fair assumption, because, like we all know, social media is just one small percent of what every single person is doing. I know lots of times people come to my DM. Lots of times people say certain things to me, and you know, I may talk to them directly. I may not post it on my page for the world to see. So I've helped that one person, but the whole world didn't necessarily see that I've helped that person. Or there's lots, luckily, you know, some of us in our states of influence, we have some people's phone numbers that when there's an issue on ground, we can talk to that person directly. We may not use our social media platform to hype it up. I remember the time when there was the, when in PH, all those girls were getting killed in hotel rooms. I actually called the Lagos State RRR chairman, because I remember there was a time when Lagos was having that same kind of issue some years back. And I called him directly. And I was like, you guys have experience in this topic. Is there a way that you guys can, because you guys are the Nigerian police force. It's not Lagos police force. It's not PH.
Yeah, I mean,
you are the Nigerian, you guys can work together. And he took my advice. And everyone saw the news. The articles are there that says that the Lagos State Police went to PH and taught them how to capture that person. And the man was captured. But I didn't go online to explain that. You know, everything isn't necessarily a public issue.
Yeah.
But you know, there has to be a I think there's levels of influence. I don't think every single influence needs to be or is a social media topic. Some of us or some people are doing things behind the scenes. Some people are writing letters. Some people are doing petitions. I know a lot of celebrities actually do a lot of work, but they do not want their name to be attached to it because of the drama that comes with it. So there are lots of people who are doing great work, but because how can that person be promoting yada yada yada, you know? So the person doesn't want that drama. They probably just pitch whoever they have to do it and move some things. So I think it's a matter of understanding that not every single influencer can influence for a certain kind of nation building. I think everyone can talk about Nigeria is a great nation, you know, but you know, anyone can say it. Anyone can say it, of course. Everyone, I think as a creative, you pushing your work in this country means you believe in the country. Because there can be influencers who are saying, let's all go to Canada together. There are people who talk about that. So, you know, there can be more people saying, let's go to Canada, let's go to US, let's go to China. But we really, for me, maybe I'm not in those spheres, but I don't think as many people talk about leaving Nigeria. I think more people are interested in how to make the country a better place. So I think the pressure of trying to make people feel like they're not doing enough. I think people are doing okay. Yeah, there's more to be done by everyone. But I don't think everyone should be like, you guys aren't doing enough. You influencers are not doing it. Because I can be honest, I know me, I do videos regularly. I talk about positive things all the time. And most time the feedback is not as positive or not as good as when I do non-nation building topics. So I think also for the viewers, I think it's important for you guys to also support us. If you think someone is doing a great job as a nation builder, please hype them up. Please encourage other people to work with them. Please encourage other people to follow them. Please, you know, you guys have access as much as we do, honestly. You guys can message with brands and say, oh my gosh, this person is doing a great job. You guys should talk to this person. You guys
should stop trying to troll us.
You know, you guys have as much, yes, you guys have as much power as us. So I think there's a lot of people who are doing great. But because they don't really receive the positive remarks, it doesn't feel as good. So even though I do these videos and I haven't done a video in like a month or so because I've been getting paid to do other things. And I'm definitely gonna do the videos. I have them. My notebook is here. I'm always writing my stuff, but I'm gonna prioritize some things because I live in a service apartment at 24 hours lights and I have to pay for that light. And by paying for it, I have to work. And it's by someone that pays me, is who helps me pay my estates. So, you know, I think it's really important that I think we have to be realistic. I think that's something that we tend to not do. We tend not to be realistic. We all put our issues on whoever is available to listen. without us realizing that everyone else also has an issue. Everyone else is also doing their bits. Everyone in this Nigeria, even the richest person, is still dealing with Nigeria. Everyone is being touched by Nigerian factor. And I think so many people are doing their best to try. I think we all can do more, but I do think that the pressure, I always say this. I wrote a post yesterday about the pressure on celebrities, and people turned that into Anto is broke and depressed. I'm not broke nor depressed. I'm actually very chilling, you know? So sometimes when sometimes when you are honest about some things, people will insult you, and nobody wants to be insulted. No one wakes up and pays their Wi-Fi for someone to come and insult them. So it's also difficult to talk about some things. You know, all of us are going through it. You know, the days, like, I remember when I was going house hunting, I was talking about my house hunt, how stressful it was that you'll pay 2, 3, 4 million naira to live somewhere on top of gutter, to, you know, people on the road, your place is littered. I talked about all these things, and people were laughing. And I'm like, okay, I'm trying to relate with you on a regular Nigerian citizen thing, but you want to laugh. But so you want me to say that I have a Benz. I mean, that's what you prefer. You rather me say the bougie stuff. When we talk about the real things, you know, we get a different kind of backlash. So I think it's really important that everyone, celebrity, influencer, public figure, 9 to 5, unemployed, self-employed, we all do our best to build Nigeria up. Because even if we leave and go to Canada, no matter what everybody wants to do, you're still a Nigerian. And me especially, someone who, you know, I'm international, and I know what people say about Nigerians.
There's nothing like running away from this country, because if all these other countries say, you know something, I'm tired of your people, get out of my house, we got to get out of the house. And they'll take everything you've worked for and not transfer your wealth back. So where are you running to? What do you want to go and do where you're going to? As in, you go to these other countries, it's a working system. Get the knowledge you want to get, come back and create, the people that are supposed to help or not, but there's no getting out of this country. As in, you still come back home at some point in time, so why not make it good? Because if the tables turn while you're there, there's nothing you can do. You're on foreign soil. You ain't got no rights. You treat you like they want. And then once you go and complain, human rights. No, then they chop up something, they create a profile for you and say that you're a terrorist or you're disturbing the peace. What do you want to do there? You know? I want my kids to grow up here in Nigeria. That's why I'm out here. I think I've had the opportunity to leave this country a couple of times. But I want my kids to grow up here. Enjoy the enjoyment I enjoy here. Chop the beating I chop here. You know, live the the Nigerian dream, not the American dream. But until
I agree. I always talk about the Nigerian dream.
So you see, it's just
like for me, people always laugh at me because they're like, "Yo, what are you doing in Nigeria? You have no business here." And it's because I believe in Nigeria. I truly believe like Nigeria has so much untapped soil, and that is what I'm doing here. I truly have no business here. I wasn't born here. I wasn't raised here. I moved to Nigeria when I was 25. Like I was a grown ass woman when I moved to Nigeria, but because I believe that there's something here. So someone even wrote that, okay, if you do work off camera, it's best to come on social media, and people say you don't do the work because they don't see it. And, you know, we all have that battle of when we're doing philanthropic work or we're doing nation building, should we come on social media? Because so many people say, oh, if you're doing good things, you don't have to post it on social media. You know, we have that battle. There's always that balance. People are like, oh, awesome, we guys are doing this work. And when we do post, it's like, you went to Motherless Baby Home. Why are you posting it? You know, so these are also some of the pressures I want you viewers to know, that people do great things and they don't always post it because they get this backlash of, why are you posting it? You're only posting it for likes. You're only posting it for hype. You only want people to know you're doing good things, but you're not really good at heart. And those things hurt. Forget about sticks and stones may break my bones, words will never hurt me. Our work as an influencer is to get positive feedback. That is our work. Positive feedback is what leads to more work. If people don't like you, no one's going to call you to influence anything. So it is positive feedback. So if you're posting things and people are giving you negative feedback, you will no longer post that kind of topic. And that is point blank. That is point blank. So I think it's really important for us to, everyone has a point or a place or something that they can do. Everyone that's watching this now, you guys know have now heard our opinions of influencers in nation building. You can now tell your neighbor or your best friend or your WhatsApp group that there's people out there that are doing really well, but because we're not encouraging them, they're not they're not doing as much. Let's encourage them. Let's all help them out. So I think
give
it's
them
really
a nudge, Yeah.
Does anyone have any other last minute questions? I think a lot of people here are saying the same thing, that we all have a place, we all have something to do. We all have a way to keep working. This Nigeria's not going to get better until we make it better. So I think a lot of people are along those kinds of lines. Someone said something interesting here, saying that we need young people to start their own political party.
I have to leave you pretty soon. I have a brief meeting.
No, I understand.
But still, forgive me, guys, for having to abruptly go. The message has been popping into my phone. Where are you? I'm in the same building as where I'm supposed to be.
I see. We see you.
But I just. This is my kind of topic. Can we have this conversation?
Anytime. I'm always available. I'm always available. So while Seyi runs away, I see something here from Grand Kadi that says we need young people to start their own political party. I think we have one of those, MDP, right? That's Banky W's, the party that Banky had went through. Your network will. Your network is messing up. Let me check some more. I don't know if the network is okay on my side or what have you. But someone said one thing I feel is the best ways for Nigerian national building is people, no matter how small, are applauded for all they do towards nation building. I'm with you. I agree with that.
Hello, Anto.
All right, you're back.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, really, as they're calling and everything is well. Okay, so if you don't, my apologies for that abrupt cutting. We're trying to rush out of here, but like I was saying, I think we definitely should have this conversation again sometime. So let's go like a part 2 or volume 2. Everybody that is listening, please. Anto, hopefully this is one of those our philanthropical works, so we can reschedule for another time.
Sure.
Because I think this is something that we don't speak much about, or we need to drive more energy into, so people can realize that they can actually be influencers for the good of the nation and help us grow and be able to actualize ourselves. Because a comment a couple of years back when they called us lazy Nigerian youths, over the past couple of years, look at it now. There's a lot of youths that are creating income, that are affecting demographics and are projecting us out there. Davido 1 billion views, Burna Boy 1 billion views, which we're literally putting Nigeria on the map. And then as much as all these other external countries or entities are trying to make us look bad when they're trying to project the hush puppies and trying to project these other people, all those other entities, expose all the people within our government that are bringing money to your country and allowing people, before you start talking about people like those other people that were mentioned. It's not exactly fair. They favor some people more than other people. They make so we need to have this conversation more so that we can have the right amount of energy that will drive it properly, and it won't be a one-sided fight or a one-sided movement. If you get what I'm talking about. So people, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hopefully we'll have this conversation again sometime during the week. Anto, anytime you holler at me, I'll pick up. You know this, right?
You know how to find me.
You know this, right? Excuse me, I'm going to seize your passport. I'm not going anywhere. Standard. So if you permit me, Anto, please permission to you, Mike.
Sure. Please handle your business. I'll wrap up. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for being an influencer. Thanks for being a nation builder. We appreciate everything that you do.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. P.S. They are not paying me to influence negatively. They are just paying me to influence right.
Very true. Peace. Let me get Seyi out of here, babe. So again, for the latecomers, the discussion was the role of influencers on nation building. And in summary, I loved all the comments that so many people had here. I think what we kind of deduced, or what we kind of came across, and something that we want to definitely have this conversation again in a few months. We spoke about how everyone has a part to play in creating Nigeria to be the Nigeria that we want it to be. Yes, we have some people called influencers or celebrities or public figures, and most people are going to focus on their line of work, which might be beauty or music or what have you. So if people are passionate about certain topics, they'll probably talk about it a little bit more. We do believe that most influencers are interested in nation building, but they too are struggling to find the information about certain topics as much as you are. But there are people out there who are doing great things and are educating the youth. And I put myself and Seyi's handles, it is pinned there. So I think all of us, we have learned something today that is very important for us to all do our best, to all strive, and to see how we can make Nigeria the Nigeria that it needs to be. So make sure you follow us. If you are, I think most of you are probably already following EIE Nigeria. If not, make sure you follow EIE. Make sure you follow myself, Anto, Leky, and follow official Seyi Awolowo. We are influencers who are doing our best to nation build a nation. And I think we all have something that we can offer. And I'm going to wish you guys a great night. It is a Friday, and they have, increased our curfew a bit. So if you are going out, be safe. Remember that coronavirus still exists. So please go out with your masks, your hand sanitizers, social distance. Remember that is very important. That's also part of nation building. We did a great job in Nigeria that we didn't have as much of a crisis as other places. And I think that's us. We kind of knew that it's very important that Nigeria couldn't really deal with such a bad situation of COVID. So I think all of us actually did pretty well. So continue to wear your mask, use your hand sanitizer, wash your hands, and I'm going to wish you guys all a good night. Be safe, enjoy the weekend, and remember that you are an influencer who is a nation builder, so pass on good messages to your fellow citizens. Have a good night. Bye.